On top of that, it's generally not how they think.
Right.
You know? I mean, look at Floyd. Like, Floyd spends money like it's a tap. Like, he's got a tap. Just like unlimited amount of money. Money's just flowing. And even as much money as he's made in his career, which he's probably made as much, if not more money than any boxer ever. Like, there's all these lawsuits. Like, he hasn't been paying things, and he owes money on this and owes money on that. And it's like, and then he's got to come out of retirement.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah.
That's tough. All the money, you got to show that he got $1 million in his backpack. And, you know, he got the latest watch and the latest car, and look what I just bought.
And when you get into latest watches and latest cars, you get into that shit. Like, boy, that money goes quick.
Yeah.
Bugattis are like 3 million. There's watches that are 3-5 million. That's crazy. So you buy a watch and a car, you're down 10.
Mm-hmm.
That's nuts. That's nuts.
Crazy.
I remember Iran Barkley was talking about that. Iran Barkley, when he was in his prime, was hanging out with all these professional athletes, and everybody was getting diamond-crusted chains and this and that, and he was keeping up with these people. Like, you got to keep up with the Joneses. And he just found himself, like, draining all of his money. He was talking about it like that was the biggest detriment to him being able to save any money.
Joe Rogan breaks down how Floyd Mayweather built an enormous fortune, yet burned through it at a staggering pace, splurging on exotic supercars, high-end timepieces, and lavish collections without a second thought. He completely neglected his tax obligations, operating under the belief that his cash flow would never dry up. That mindset, according to Rogan, is what led Mayweather to bleed out nearly $1 billion.
It's just the lifestyle that Floyd lived.
Yes.
I think he can't fathom to just live a modest lifestyle. It's like he gotta be lavish.
Right. He's got to have those videos where he shows you all the watches, where he opens the case up, you know. He was talking about it like that was the biggest detriment to him being able to save any money.
Mm-hmm. They trying to keep up.
Yeah. Which I thought was funny when I was listening to this conversation with Chad Ochocinco. He was talking about it. He was like,
his jewelry fake.
Yeah, he was wearing fake jewelry.
But who would know?
What's that?
Who would know?
No
Chad
one know.
Ochocinco.
Exactly.
It's
Fake
like when
jewelry,
they look at him, like
flying economy. He was sleeping at the stadium, like, so he didn't have to pay for an apartment. So smart.
Yeah.
So clever, you know? Yeah. But that's a guy, like, preparing.
Joe Rogan said Floyd built his persona around flaunting wealth, showing off expensive watches, creating envy, but now everyone can see the visible consequences of his lifestyle.
They like watching him fight because they hate him. Because he talks so much shit, and he's like, look at my $1 million watch, look at my jet, look at my house, look at this. He's like constantly showing you all these things that he has. Like, he'll lay out watches in a hotel bed, like, this is $1 million worth of watches. This watch goes for $2 million. And they're like, this is my small watch that I take sometimes, but I want to show you, when I show up, I bring out the big boy, and it brings out this watch that's covered in diamonds. It's like fucking $5 million. And so you hate him. People hate him.
He creates envy.
Yes.
Joe Rogan pointed out that Floyd built his entire image around displaying his riches, constantly showing off premium watches and engineering a lifestyle designed to make others envious. But today, the real cost of that behavior has become impossible to ignore, as the consequences of his extravagant choices are now on full display for the world to see.
You got gambling and all, of course, the gambling, you know, casinos and all that. He lives a very interesting lifestyle, very fast paced. I think the average person will have a hard time keeping up, but it's the amount of it. You got the private jets, you got the cars, but no, he could easily spend a few $500,000, $1 million plus in a day, like easy. Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I mean, 400 million in a fight, and you put into like a high escrow or something like that, yeah, you keep pulling in really good interest, but I don't know. I know the dude can spend a lot of money like it's nothing. Like $1 million, $2 million, $5 million for Floyd in a day or a week is like nothing.
Yeah, that's insanity. I mean, it would not surprise me if all of this is hyperbole. You know, I've always looked at Floyd as a very, very smart person, not just in the ring, but outside of the ring.
Yeah.
And I say this because much of what we see, it's the show. He understood. He was in show business.
Yep.
Nicholas Irving reveals that Floyd Mayweather reportedly burns through close to $1 million every single day, constantly on the move, making frequent stops at casinos where he gambles enormous sums, all while maintaining a relentless, over-the-top lifestyle packed with nothing but the finest luxuries money can buy.
I don't see Mayweather even doing any goofy shit like that.
But you would think that your investments would continue to grow,
right?
As long as you keep your spending under wraps. Like right now, like I could retire right now. This could be my last interview ever,
right?
And with my investments, I invested into a lot of great companies like Google and Amazon and Tesla over the years, and those companies have all grown and continue to grow, right? And I could actually borrow money against my stock portfolio without even selling my stocks,
right?
So I assumed that Mayweather was in a similar spot because he made so much cash, and if you invested even in common stocks, you should do pretty well. But I mean, listen, Mayweather never flies commercial. He's only flying private.
So he doesn't own his own plane?
I don't think so. I've never seen a Mayweather plane, like a Drake plane. I've never seen that. Not to say that he doesn't. I don't know Mayweather like that.
DJ Vlad shares that a prominent jeweler in the industry privately confided in him that Floyd Mayweather may be in serious financial trouble, the result of years upon years of pouring massive amounts of money into jewelry, watches, luxury vehicles, and high-end goods without any sign of slowing down.
We need the money. What's wrong with that? And why are we attempting to tease Floyd? Is Floyd Mayweather? Yes, he's broke. Of course he's broke. He's a boxer. Did they say can't read? That's not to tease him. They say that he can't read. His best friend at the time said that he can't read, and he never denied it. What boxer do you know that isn't broke? What a ridiculous question. But it's the fact that they're attempting to tease him. I mean, first off, they're asking the question. Look, I've told you until I'm blue in the face. The numbers that you hear in boxing simply aren't true. Floyd made $1 billion. No, he didn't. Floyd and Conor made $500 million. No, they didn't. Of course they didn't. Nobody's ever confirmed that. Literally nobody. It's the same thing with boxing pay-per-view. Whatever boxing pay-per-view is the biggest boxing pay-per-view of all time is just whoever put out the press release and lied more than the person before them. These have never been confirmed by leadership of a publicly traded company. Who is the one that supplies the pay-per-view? It is illegal for—
Chael Sonnen explains that Floyd is a boxer, and like many fighters, wealth tends to disappear after retirement. Once their prime years are behind them, the fame slowly fades and public attention quietly moves on.
No, Floyd, I've talked to Floyd, I've asked him questions about this. And rule number one is, if Floyd ain't talking about it and Floyd ain't promoting it, then it's just talk.
They're accusing him of going broke because he's looking for these fights.
They've been accusing Floyd of going broke for 20 years. Now, let's talk about going broke. Maybe down to 200 million. Maybe that's his broke. I don't know.
Maybe that's his broke.
What I do know is his homes is still there because when he tell me to come see him, it's the same addresses. Every time he called me, it's stars on the roof, right? So I don't know, unless somebody is hacked into this man's finances, they always accuse the man of going broke. So maybe he's—
Whack 100, the well-known music executive and manager, claims that Floyd Mayweather Jr. has quietly dealt with financial struggles for close to 2 decades, and suggests that for someone at his level, even $20 million could essentially be considered broke.
If there's any legitimacy to that, like how on God's green earth could this man be broke?
His lifestyle. I've been around like hanging out for days, weeks. It's the lifestyle. Like when you got a 40-man entourage, you got other people and you take everybody out, pay for everything, we shopping, the mall, going out to eat, renting out an entire movie theater. Yeah, just to go watch a movie at whatever time he wanted. It was like the theater was closed when we rolled up to the movie theater, and You know, you got the girls and all. Yeah, and you rent out a whole movie theater for 40, 50 plus people. I bet that bill can rack up a little.
Nicholas Irving points out that Floyd Mayweather Jr.'s financial difficulties are largely tied to the lavish lifestyle he kept up for years. Irving notes that Mayweather routinely spent staggering amounts on entertainment, travel, and luxury experiences, not only for himself, but for everyone around him. From taking his entire crew on extravagant shopping trips to funding private jet travel and booking out whole movie theaters for private screenings, the spending never stopped. These daily habits could easily run into hundreds of thousands of dollars, sometimes crossing the $1 million mark.
And I say this because much of what we see, it's the show. He understood. He was in show business.
Yep.
When he was Pretty Boy Floyd, he was a boxer that was doing his thing.
Mm-hmm.
He was winning fights.
Mm-hmm.
But when he became Money Mayweather and changed that persona and put that marketing machine behind the I live this lavish lifestyle, that's when you started seeing him make these big money fights.
Yeah.
That's when it all changed for him.
Yep.
And that's not by accident. It's not by chance. This guy's not dumb. He's not a stupid guy whatsoever.
No. And I don't think, that's what I'm saying, I don't think he's broke. I think it's a lot of, to get eyes on
Irving stressed that the real problem went beyond just heavy spending. It was the absence of meaningful long-term investments to protect his financial future. Rather than building stable, lasting wealth, Mayweather channeled most of his focus into enjoying the lifestyle he loved, which gradually put enormous strain on his finances. The combination of relentless luxury spending and little to no investment planning slowly pushed him toward a dangerous financial position. Irving's assessment paints a picture of a lifestyle that was glamorous on the surface, but simply unsustainable underneath. It serves as a powerful reminder that even the highest-paid athletes can find themselves in serious trouble when smart planning is traded for instant gratification. Mayweather's journey shows how lifestyle choices, even at the very peak of success, can carry heavy long-term consequences.
We got $200-300 million, man, to get in the ring with, we got $150 million to get in the ring with Mike Tyson on some exhibition shit. And then 6 months later, we got $300 million for you to get in the ring with Manny Pacquiao. He look it up, he like, that's $450 million. Sometimes you miss the light. But I can guarantee you, he ain't broke. He's making a lot of sound investments. You hear me, Cam Capone?
Yep.
This I know for a fact. He's making a lot of sound investments. And the investments I've seen being made ain't the investments of someone that's broke.
WAC 100 weighed in on Floyd Mayweather Jr. and the ongoing financial discussions around him. He made it clear that if Mayweather still has the ability to step inside the ring and pull in millions from a single fight, then pursuing that opportunity is nothing to be ashamed of. He noted that many athletes return to competition when they realize their name still carries serious demand. In his view, boxing is one of the rare sports where a legendary name can show up for exhibitions, draw worldwide attention, and generate massive paydays. If that opportunity is on the table, getting back in the ring is simply the smart move.
The guy told me that Mayweather is in financial problems.
See, here's the part about actually losing your money when you're on that level and you're, kind of like flossing and showing off. Nobody gives a shit. Like there are people actually praying for you to be broke. And then when you do go broke, that's what people are gonna say. Yeah. Oh, well, you should have invested better. Nobody's gonna care. Nobody's gonna give him any loans. So now, we might see Mayweather doing.
People will give him some loans.
Maybe.
Listen, he's cozying up to Israel. That's
but
not
the
an
thing
accident.
about it is, he had Mayweather Promotions.
Yeah.
And he was hosting a big, he had Gervonta Davis under his cars. And so that's
yeah, but look what happened to Gervonta.
Right. So if you can sustain that, you don't ever have to box again. But now has to take fights because, when you floss like Mayweather, you can't go down.
Yeah.
You got to stay right there because people are going to beat any kind of chinks in your armor if you're not wearing 3 or 4 big $1 million diamond chains.
DJ Vlad weighed in on Floyd Mayweather Jr.'s financial situation, recalling how a prominent jeweler once privately told him that Mayweather may be facing real money problems due to years of extraordinarily heavy spending. Vlad suggested that constant big-ticket purchases, jewelry, watches, cars, and an overall extravagant lifestyle likely drained a huge chunk of his fortune. He also pointed out that stronger investment decisions could have preserved and grown that wealth over time. Vlad further noted that had Mayweather Promotions continued building with top fighters like Gervonta Davis staying under the banner, the company could have evolved into one of the most powerful promotional outfits in all of boxing.
Allowed this. Who looks at it now and says he's 50-0? A generation, the first generation of boxing fans who don't box. Tattoos all over. You will shoot somebody down for $1, right? You will play around and beat up a bum who's drunk out of his mind so you can put it on YouTube, right? But you won't put on the gloves. You won't go to a local gym and put on the gloves. And you have killed boxing. You have killed something that saved me from a life of being a victim. Okay? You have done it. And you have destroyed boxing in such a way, Floyd Mayweather fans and Floyd Mayweather. You have destroyed boxing in such a big...
Boxing analysts have been vocal about the upcoming exhibition between Floyd Mayweather and Mike Tyson, with most agreeing that financial motivation appears to be the primary driver behind the matchup rather than any real competitive purpose. Experts widely acknowledge that Tyson is well past his prime and unlikely to replicate the dominance that once made him feared across the sport. Critics also argue that if Mayweather genuinely wanted a meaningful challenge against Tyson, that window existed years ago when both men were physically at their absolute best. Instead, the timing of this fight points clearly toward cashing in on the legendary status and star power both names still carry, with the goal of attracting massive audiences and generating enormous revenue.
Floyd Mayweather would have lasted all of maybe a minute against a prime Mike Tyson. Okay? Against a prime Mike Tyson. But what Mike Tyson are we looking at today? We're looking at a very old man who has abused his body, who has bad knees, right? Who is a lot slower, okay? And after 2 rounds, he's done. He's an old man. Now, when you have a style like Mike Tyson, where everything you do, you being great, depends on speed because you're short. You understand? See, Mike Tyson could never do what George Foreman.
Interview 15. That wraps things up for today's video. Stay tuned to Punching Era for more boxing content coming your way.